Hello and welcome to the Answer Series Natural Sciences videos based on our study guides. In this video, we will learn to distinguish between different types of pure substances, molecules, elements, and compounds. So what is a pure substance? It's defined as matter that has a constant composition. In other words, it consists of a single kind of matter, and it's not a mixture of different substances. Pure gold consists only of gold atoms, and no other elements or substances occur inside it. Pure water consists of only water molecules with no other substances dissolved inside it. So a pure substance has a constant composition, a repeating pattern of the same kind of atom or molecule. A pure substance can also not be broken down into its component parts by physical means. Physical means of separating substances include hand sorting, sieving, filtration, magnetic separation, distillation, evaporation, and chromatography. So even though pure substances can't be separated by physical means, some can be broken down into their component parts by chemical means. And this mostly applies to compounds like water, but we'll look more into this in a later video. So ultimately, we get two types of pure substances: elements, for example, gold or oxygen, and compounds, for example, water and carbon dioxide. Both elements and compounds may also consist of molecules. So now let's quickly pause because we have three important terms: molecules, elements, and compounds that come up here. So let's first unpack these one by one. A molecule forms when two or more atoms bond together in a fixed ratio. Let's look at water as an example of a typical molecule. A water molecule is formed when two hydrogen atoms chemically bond with one oxygen atom. You can see that there are two different atoms, hydrogen and oxygen, bonded together in a fixed ratio, 2 to 1, meaning two hydrogen atoms bonded to one oxygen atom, and that is what makes up a water molecule. The bond between the atoms is called a chemical bond, as it was formed during a chemical reaction. Now there are two types of molecules depending on the kind of atoms that bond together. If only one kind of atom bonds together, we call these molecules of elements, because remember, an element consists of only one kind of atom. If more than one kind of atom bonds together, like water here, we call these molecules of compounds. As explained previously, an element is a pure substance that consists of atoms of only one kind. Like a piece of gold consists only of gold atoms. Iron consists only of iron atoms, and sulfur consists only of sulfur atoms. As an element consists of only one kind of atom, it can't be broken down into two or more different substances by means of a chemical reaction. There physically is nothing else for it to be broken down into. Some elements on the periodic table, however, can form molecules of elements. In other words, they consist of the same kind of atom that is chemically bonded together, maybe two or more of those atoms. And some examples of these types of molecules of elements are hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and chlorine. The atoms of these elements will always occur in a 1-to-1 ratio when they bond to form molecules. One hydrogen atom binds to one hydrogen atom to form hydrogen gas. One oxygen atom will bind to another oxygen atom to form oxygen gas. And the same goes for nitrogen and chlorine. Molecules that consist of two of the same kind of atoms chemically bonded together are called diatomic molecules, where the di means two. So these molecules will always have two of the same atoms bonded together. This 1-to-1 ratio of bonding is shown in the chemical formula of these diatomic molecules. So the chemical formula for hydrogen is H2 because it consists of two hydrogen atoms bonded to each other. The chemical formula for oxygen gas is O2 because it consists of two oxygen atoms bonded to each other. The chemical formula for nitrogen is N2 because it consists of two nitrogen atoms bonded, and the chemical formula for chlorine gas is Cl2 because it consists of 2 chlorine atoms bonded to each other. Compounds are pure substances that consist of atoms of 2 or more different elements that are chemically bonded together. So elements are still the building blocks of compounds. Compounds are formed by chemical reactions. For example, when iron and sulfur are heated together, they form iron sulfide. This shows a simple chemical reaction to form a molecule of a compound. You can see that compounds are composed of molecules. Other examples of compounds include water, carbon dioxide, and sodium chloride. As compounds are formed during chemical reactions, they can be broken down into their elements or other compounds by means of chemical reactions, and we will look at this in more detail in a later video. The atoms in a compound will always occur in a fixed ratio, as shown by the chemical formula. For example, the chemical formula of water is H2O, because a water molecule always has 2 hydrogen atoms bonded to 1 oxygen atom. So the ratio of hydrogen to oxygen in any water molecule will always be 2 to 1. The chemical formula for ammonia is NH3, because it consists of 3 hydrogen atoms bonded to 1 nitrogen atom. And the chemical formula for sodium chloride is NaCl, because it consists of 1 sodium atom bonded to 1 chlorine atom. Lastly, the properties of a compound will be different from the properties of the individual elements that make up the compound. For example, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas are both flammable gases as elements on their own. But when chemically bonded together to form water, it forms a non-flammable liquid. So the water has a different chemical property compared to the elements that it is made of. So let's summarize what we learned. Atoms make up everything, all the matter around us. So that means that elements, molecules, and compounds all consist of atoms. The only difference between them is the composition of their atoms. All elements only have one kind of atom. Compounds consist of 2 or more different atoms, atoms from different elements that have chemically bonded together. Molecules connect these two because molecules can form elements or compounds. Molecules as a whole are made up of 2 or more atoms that are chemically bonded together in a fixed ratio. If a molecule consists of 1 or 2 of the same kind of atoms that have bonded together, it is called a molecule of an element or a diatomic molecule. If the molecule consists of 2 different kinds of atoms, atoms from different elements that have bonded together, we call that a molecule of a compound. So you can see that molecules can create elements or compounds. Elements, molecules, and compounds are all considered pure substances because all of them have a constant composition, be it because they have the same atom that is repeating over and over and over, or because they have the same molecules that are repeating over and over. Key terminology for this video includes pure substance, molecule, chemical reaction, chemical bond, element, diatomic molecule, and compound. Check out the video description below for practice questions from our study guides. If you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook to stay on top of the latest TAS news and launches. So that's it for now from the Answer Series, your key to exam success.